Buffalo's history of local farming, industry, and transportation with the surrounding waterways has accumulated into pollution significant enough to alter the health of fauna and flora in water and on land. Although time has passed, many of the chemicals from local industry that were dumped up until the 1970s haven't gone anywhere. Leached toxins from sediment enter the food chain through primary consumers, then transfer to secondary consumers, and so on. While moving up the food chain, organisms become more complex and biomagnification occurs. Biomagnification is the accumulation of toxins. More complex, older, and larger organisms tend to have a higher concentration of toxins. Although fishing advisories are available and in-person outreach has become increasingly more common, there is still room for improvement. By simply providing fish consumption advisories with fishing licenses, more people will be aware of the potential risks of contaminated water. It is also important to recognize that those who don't fish may still be at risk through consumption and exposure. That is why health centers should provide information about fish consumption and concentrated air, lead, and water pollution to all patients.
Again, when you come here, you see all our nice waterways and everything and the opportunity to fish, but a lot of them don't know the history of our area or that these are even issues, especially because a lot of the toxins that we're concerned with don't really have any outward. There's no way to just look at a fish and see that it might contain some toxins or might be unhealthy for use.
Federal and state regulations tend to recommend for humans to consume smaller and younger fish instead of large carnivorous fish that are unfortunately more commonly sought after. Nursing infants, children, pregnant women, women of childbearing age, and elders are at greater risk for compromised physiological development and reproductive health. There is importance in recognizing the diverse contexts, interests, and needs that characterize various affected groups, including English proficiency and literacy.
A lot of people don't really, I don't know if they don't realize or just don't take the time to think about how many people genuinely do rely on fishing as a source of food for themselves and their families. Um, so I think unless you're fishing a lot and going down to these areas or lived through that you don't really understand that not everybody can just get in a car and go to a grocery store and buy all the food that they want. That there are other avenues that people use to to provide food.
Some anglers have resorted to fishing in concerning waterways, fully aware of the risks because they have others to feed and need to simply survive. Subsistence fishing is fishing to minimally support oneself. There is virtually no representation for subsistence anglers in magazines, TV shows, and advertisements, and this emphasizes the importance to establish more resources and better representation. Fishing is a precious educational opportunity that passes on important skills to younger generations. For many, including refugees and homeless people, fishing is a large part of their personal, religious, and cultural identity. It is a meaningful reminder of the past. Fishing provides comfort, job opportunities, food security, and fun. It can even strengthen our relationship with the natural environment that surrounds us.
Wherever you are in New York, and depending on where you are, if you're on the Niagara River and that's what you have access to, there's some disparity between water quality and the food that we consume and everything like that. But there's a lot of opportunity out there.
You should know the history of your local waterways to recognize areas of concern and who is at the greatest risk. Wherever you are, it is important to know what is in the water and where it's coming from. Your income or ethnicity should not determine if you will be able to eat safely tonight.